Hi, I'm here with Wenke Weinreich, Deputy Institute Director for Fraunhofer IPMS and Division Director for CNT, which stands for Center for Nanoelectric Technologies. Wenke, how have you seen Silicon Saxony evolve?
To be honest, I see that since many years. I really learned about silicon in Saxony already 2000, around 2000 during my studies at the Technical University in Freiberg. There we learned about the basic research, at least for the solar industry, and solar industry was established since 2005. I moved to Dresden and recognized there this huge microelectronic focus with all the fabs there already started in Dresden. And yeah, since 2006, I'm part of this directly, part of Silicon Saxony by starting at Fraunhofer CNT, which is the former public-private partnership with AMD and Qimonda. So we were established as a research institute with these two big fabs together. And since then, yeah, I'm in the heart and in the middle of Silicon Saxony. And since that time, I also accompany all the developments which were growing inside Saxony. For example, I could have a look on the growing from just, let's see, the members in production, facility, and tooling up to now being enlarged by the members for design, for system integration, and also for end applications. So this whole development I had the chance to accompany and to see in the last years. So it was really a tremendous increase of this
Mhm.
ecosystem.
Yeah, it's certainly an exciting time with the everything heating up in terms of semiconductors on the global level, and each ecosystem has its strengths and weaknesses. Can you tell me about the key strengths of the ecosystem you're in, if you want to talk about Silicon Saxony or Germany or Europe? So, what are the key strengths of the ecosystem, and how does that fit into Europe and or the global ecosystem?
Mhm. So I think the key strength of this ecosystem is really this holistic approach and, let's say, the completeness of the ecosystem. So that we really start from basic research in universities and research organizations that are available here in Saxony up to mass production and system integration. So this is, I think, you need the complete chain for real innovation to see what you are working for. And also, what I recognized is that every part of the chain inside the ecosystem really has a next neighbor for whom you are doing your work. And
Mhm.
this connection gives you, let's say, a clear focus. What are you doing and what is it beneficial for? And also, what's really a key for this kind of ecosystem is that we have very short ways between the partners and short ways with between supporters. If you need something, if you need some help, if you have a big challenge, then it's really a short way to find a solution or to find somebody who can support this and who can help there. And that's really extremely beneficial. And I think that's a big strength, this completeness and holistic approach.
Right. When you say ways, you mean that you're physically located in the neighborhood.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that you're really physically located in the neighborhood, because also some developments and research can be directly connected. You can meet directly, but you can also exchange your, for example, just exchange wafers and work together, and that really quite closely.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny because in this era of the new era of remote working, being physically there is also a great thing for working together. As you say, you're delivering something to your next value chain partner. And as long as each member of the value chain does that, it works nicely. Now, one of the things that is interesting in the heated race for semiconductors or any technology is that you have this interaction between research institutes, governments, and industry. Now, if you look at, from your point of view, if you look at the way that works in Europe, this, how research institutes work with governments and industry, Would you change anything if you could? What would you do if you could change that? Anything?
That's a very good question. To be honest, probably not much because there are really a lot of very good programs and a lot of interaction already available. But however, you can always improve something, of course. Yeah, if I could do something, there's one point I would say that would be beneficial is even better alignment between the European goals and the ones of the autonomous states. So, of course, sometimes they are very big European goals, but they need the support of the states. And the states, they are not always aligned completely, or the big European goal is not always the same of all states that are belonging yeah, to Europe. And that makes it sometimes a little bit difficult to really fulfill the goals and the big programs that are given by the European Union, because it's never only Europe or only states, it's always together,
Hmm.
the performance. And yeah, so sometimes the states do not support the European Union to the extent they should probably. And more alignment about the goals, the goals that Europe has together would be beneficial, I would say. One additional point that would be also very important for me is, I mean, you heard that there are a lot of companies, or at least production sites, will come to Europe to increase the amount of chips that are made in Europe. That's of course a very important goal. But what we also need to force is that R&D and innovation also comes from Europe. It's not enough that only the chips are produced here, and how to do it, the knowledge comes from somewhere, and we just do copy and paste, let's say
Hmm.
like this. It's really important to force all the companies to make innovation in Europe. So that's
Right.
something, yeah, I
Okay.
would change if I could do it.
Okay. Okay. That's a good one. And I imagine you mentioned this idea about aligning the states. Well, in Germany, you have even a further division because you have the Länder or the
Yes.
states within Germany, and they have quite a bit of autonomy, which brings a richness to Germany because as opposed to, for example, France was centralized, a lot of things happen locally, and that's nice. On the other
Yes.
hand, alignment must be more complicated.
That's true. That's true.
Right.
And even so, then it's of course difficult to have a complete German idea and a German goal if the countries have below have some other goals. Probably
Right,
could
right,
be difficult.
right. Exactly. So now here's I'm gonna throw you an interesting question. I'm gonna ask you to put on your look in your crystal ball. I've always been fascinated by all the change I've seen in my lifetime in technology. And if you I'm gonna ask you, you're sitting there, at the front row, you're observing this very closely, and your job is to keep an eye on what's happening next. Can you tell me, give me an idea about what you expect in terms of breakthroughs, let's say in 5 or 10 years from now?
In general, what I see coming from Silicon Saxony in the next 5 to 10 years, I would say Silicon Saxony will be in every smartphone, in every car, in every intelligent system worldwide in the next 5 to 10 years. So I would expect this to be there because I think the real low power technologies are established in Dresden at the moment and in Silicon Saxony. So the real low power edge AI hardware will come from Silicon Saxony.
Mhm.
And next to this, as a more scientific breakthrough, I would say real scaled quantum chips will come from Silicon Saxony.
Really?
I think that is something that we start to develop here, and there the fabs in Dresden probably will be the ones who can build this
Okay.
technology. So that would be an expectation if I'm looking into a glass ball.
I'm going to look at this video in about 5 years. Uh, so,
Probably.
so you think the quantum chips will come from Saxony, but what about the computers themselves? That doesn't necessarily imply that computers would come from Saxony, does it?
I think Silicon Saxony is more on the silicon
Yeah.
basis. So probably you could say the quantum computer from Europe. So there will be, of course, a quantum computer from Europe based on the chips coming from Dresden.
That would be
That would be
a
great.
wonderful demonstration of alignment.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now we're approaching the holidays here. It's just before Christmas holidays, and here's the toughest question of all. You have a lot of responsibilities. You know, you're in charge of several things over there. And what do you do? What do you do in your free time?
Of course, one thing is quite easy. Of course, you have a family, you have a garden, there you can relax and yeah, enjoy the time after work. But I also enjoy time in, for example, singing and playing organ. So I'm quite good in music, and I really love music, and that's what I'm doing, playing organ and singing in a choir. So that's what helps to think also sometimes about other things and to relax really.
Well, that's a good one. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Venka, and have a good holiday.
Thank you. You too. Thanks.
Okay.